Welcome to Instablogs Global Report. This is Sukhmani with fresh updates and more citizen voices from all over the world. Stories for the day are: Taro Aso to become Japan's new Prime Minister. Ugandan government sets out plans to punish the prostitutes. Mexico's war on powerful drug cartels failing. And New Zealand opposes the lifting of ban on commercial whaling. Mr. Taro Aso, a 68-year-old former foreign minister, will become Japan's third unelected prime minister in 2 years. Mr. Aso, the grandson of another prime minister, Mr. Shigeru Yoshida, is very well known for his nationalist views and promises he made for uplifting the Japanese economy from the current turmoil. CJ Zach Pina points out the promises made by Mr. Taro Aso to uplift the Japanese economy.
Zach Pina reporting for Instablogs. In light of Japan's second prime minister in 2 years, many are hoping that Mr. Taro Aso will help pull the country from its political and economic turmoil. Mr. Aso is stepping into the PM position at a time when the Japanese are extremely unhappy with high prices and a stalling economy. No wonder, as his promise of a supplementary budget worth $107 billion along with ruling out consumption tax increases for the next 3 years to inject the necessary economic stimulus has brought a lot of hope for the electorate. He has also called for tax incentives that will encourage corporations to repatriate overseas profits and increase spending on capital equipment and research and development. These measures may sound appealing, but the mishandling of recent reoccurring issues as far-ranging as a tainted rice scandal and health insurance for the elderly by previous administration can make the going difficult for Taro Aso. Whatever else is said or done, Mr. Aso can assure victory for the LDP party in the next general election only if his measures manage to bail out the economy from the current crisis.
The Ugandan government plans to set out measures combating prostitution, including publishing names of offenders in television, on the internet and in the newspapers. The measure is meant to shame the prostitutes who promote immorality. CJ John Kibuka suggests a novel measure at variance from one suggested by the ethics minister to tackle the problem.
This is John Kibuka, citizen journalist from Uganda, reporting for Instablogs.com. Ugandan Ethics and Integrity Minister should come up with a novel idea to curb the flourishing menace of prostitution in Kampala. The fact that the practice still exists in spite of stringent laws implies that the problem lies elsewhere. There are factors that are helping promote prostitution. Women are either forced into it or they make a conscious choice to pursue it. Those who are forced into prostitution either have been trafficked or else are economically unsound to sustain themselves. Those who make a deliberate choice to join the practice cannot be punished either, because in the end, it's the men who run the business by patronizing it. While driving along the streets lined with prostitutes, Ugandan men should make a deliberate choice of ignoring or else getting distracted and ending up in a brothel. Practicing the former will definitely wipe off the need for such regressive laws.
Mexico, it seems, is losing its war against powerful drug cartels in the state of Chihuahua. The pace and the scope of drug violence has reached unprecedented levels after President Felipe Calderon sent additional 2,500 troops and police to fight the cartels. CJ Oscar Villanueva feels the Mexican government has completely failed in its attempts to rein in the drug cartels and protect the public.
This is Oscar Villanueva, citizen journalist reporting from Mexico. The border city of Juarez is a central front in Mexico's war on powerful drug cartels. Nearly 5 months after President Felipe Calderon sent more than 2,500 federal troops and police to the state of Chihuahua on Texas' southwestern border, drug violence has reached unprecedented levels. The carnage raises questions about the government's ability to restore order, particularly in cities such as Juarez, an important trade and immigration conduit to Texas. The ferocity and resilience shown by the war in Sinaloa and Juarez cartel to control smuggling drugs into the United States has surprised everyone. The killings clearly indicate that the Mexican state has absolutely failed in its mission to protect the public. It appears that no amount of soldier or special agents is enough to stop the killings in Juarez, either because they are incompetent, badly corrupt, or intimidated by the cartels. A new response is needed to the bloody expression of these organized crimes.
Authorities in New Zealand have decided to continue opposing the lifting of an international ban on commercial whaling. The announcement comes despite an international survey showing that the threat to humpbacks in southern right whales had actually downscaled. CJ Baron Clark praises both the government's decision and the conservation attempts that actually saved the species from near extinction.
This is Byron Clark, citizen journalist reporting from New Zealand for Instablogs. The recent decision by authorities in New Zealand to continue opposing the lifting of an international ban on commercial whaling is really commendable. This despite an international survey showing that the numbers of two species, humpbacks and southern right whales, that were endangered are now rising fast. The threats to humpbacks and southern right whales has been downscaled from vulnerable to subjects of least concern in the annual update of the so-called Red List of endangered cetacean species. The two species were now least threatened with extinction. Much of the comeback has been due to the protection granted from commercial whaling. This is a great conservation success and clearly shows what needs to be done to ensure these ocean giants survive. Humpbacks and southern right whales both migrate to New Zealand waters for South Pacific breeding grounds and are major attractions for tourists on whale watching trips. New Zealand has a long history promoting the conservation of whales, and we will continue to do so, especially when the most small coastal and freshwater cetaceans are moving closer to extinction.
If you want your voice to be heard by millions, let Instablogs be your choice. You can contact us at cj@instablogs.com. That's all for today's show. We'll be back with fresh updates and more citizen voices. Till then, it's goodbye from the entire team of Global Report.